From Winnetka Bowl, we're here for the title matches of today's JBT event. Scratch ahead of handicap today. Hey, look, folks, it's Joey Grondin. We haven't seen him in a while. Back from Wichita State. This is an old school Keystone battle is what it is. Joey's taking on Solomon Salama, the top seed, who's put together quite a weekend, even by his standards, I would say. We'll talk a lot more about him in a minute. Joe's red hot on this pair. He's won 2 matches in a row over KJ Martinez and Brian Lee to get to this point, coming off a 240 game last game. So we shall see how it plays out. Saul struck in the first. You saw that spare in the second for Joey. Still does that little shoulder opening thing. Very low backswing and a lot of loft. But something was awry on that one. He appears to be grateful that he didn't wash out. Nicely done. Good match. Well played. Cheer on your sidekick. Or maybe you'll be the sidekick now. To the right, Brandon Chris just won his match over Peter Ruiz, so Peter will finish in 3rd. And Brandon will move on to play for the title against Young Cho. Misses the spare, doesn't matter. Loses scratch by 2, giving a whole lot. Brandon, stick around. Here's Salama coming up in his second. After Joe does convert the 1-2-4. And it had been a while since we've had a Salama balk, but we had one yesterday and we got another one today, so everything old is new again. You stay right there, but you don't get any more practice. You're good enough already. He's going to come in and take his practice. That time he prized off his thumb. Now, Solomon can play any board, any arrow on the lane, any angle that he wants, but his A game has always been plastic up the 2 board. And guess what he's been able to do since the semis? Plastic up the 2 board. And has it ever worked? On a day where the scratch cut was minus, Solomon in the semis shot 296, 258, 290. That's an 844 3-game scratch series with shots like that. He is the Brooks Koepka of West Coast youth bowling. Solomon's going, who the heck is Brooks Koepka?
He looks over there.
It's a global. Ain't no backing down in Joey Grondin, though. He knows what he's doing out there. As he gets everything back in alignment and crunches 10 down there. I think you're going to see a little emotion out of Joe if he gets this double. Moving around fast, isn't he? He seems very determined to get where he's going. I don't know Joe's title count before he went off to Wichita, but a super successful pre-collegiate career with us. Big shot early for him to kind of stay in the building against Salama. He doesn't like it, and he shouldn't. Yikes. Even though he's playing the ball to loft anyway, there was a little bit wrong in the physical execution both times on lane 3 so far this match, where just something seemed a little out of whack. The ball didn't have the stuff on it to get through the break point the right way. And the 1-2-4 was more fortunate because he missed even worse. Now he's going to take a second and think about this. Always tough because you lose a lot of count if you go for it and miss. But he's also got to be thinking, gee, if I open here, Solomon could have me put away by the 5th. If he does elect to go for it, it'll be using a big hook release. Otherwise, he flattens the ball out totally on his spares. Let's see what he attempts to do here. He's giving this a try. He likes it? Oh, man. That's super close to making it there. That just hooks an inch or 2 earlier, and that would have covered it. Instead, it's 63 through the 4th, and Solomon's got a real good chance of having 60 in the 2nd right here. Not good news for Camp Grondin. Whew. At one time, the Salama family paid me a nice compliment and said, I think Jeff is a robot. Just because, you know, we do the same thing over and over again. Well, I'll return the compliment by saying I'm pretty darn sure that Solomon is at least 80% synthetic. Just repeat shots, still such a young age. So if he wins this match, he wins $1,500 plus this weekend. $500 for winning yesterday, $500 for winning today. There's a bonus $500 for the points leader on the weekend. That will be him regardless of this outcome. So he's already locked up $1,250. He asks for it to do something. Well, he fans on the ball for a while. He mouths the word wow and still got it to just go dead flush in the 1-2. He's pretty good with the bowling. Also the U17 champ on the day with the win over Kyler Orozco. Boy, it's like Joe's begging for the ball at the point of release. He's like here and he's already gone. Come on.
Jim.
Yes.
He's in front of the camera to see that.
That's true. Well, we would have to do a lot of bleeping if we were in front of the camera right now. If you saw Joe from the front, you would see. More makeable than the last split. He'll go hard and straight at it, but almost gets it off the curtain. Well, here's a good line, Mr. Chris. You ready? He almost got that to bounce on the curtain. Instead, it's curtains for Joey Grondin. That is internet award-winning stuff right there. Thank you very much. Joe starts off with 9 missed 9 in his first career JBT title match. Meanwhile, Chris calmly struck. Looking for back-to-back Chris wins in the last 2 weeks. Big brother sitting on a $1,000 win last week out in Vegas.
That was my favorite day.
I bet it was. Better be. Oh dear. All of a sudden his look is gone as you can only 210 so much before you overcorrect. The ball goes wildly Brooklyn and yikes. That's all you can say there. Joe's got his spare in the second, he's got his feet wet. Check the handicap difference in a little while. Double for Chris to open up and a spare for a disgruntled Joey Grondin right now. And it's surprising because he had a really good look on the spare prior to that, but when you're bowling someone where you already know that, hey, I might need 240, 250 to win this game, you start to push a little bit internally. And it's amazing how application of just a little bit of mental pressure can take the very best and make them look very humble very quickly. 3 in a row to open up for Brandon. Solomon looking for 6 in a row to open up the title match. Brandon's dad said bang, he was absolutely right. Just 6 no-doubters, even though he didn't like the one on the last lane. It was still on dead flush. So I chided Solomon a little bit. After shooting 844 in the semis, he went over to the U17 and only bowled 224, which gives him a miserable 1068 for the last 4 games that he's bowled. 250, I don't do too much, too many. Miserable stinking 1060 for 4. I've been mentioning it. One more time. Atta girl. There you go. All right. That, by the way, was Solomon's mom and then dad to the right, left of her. Instrumental in making this a really special Memorial Weekend. We can't thank them enough for all that. For the set. Oh! Well, the ball isn't that different at the arrows, but he's got some mistake room regardless. And give a guy who's already confident and comfortable some mistake room, and big numbers happen. And Joe is just along for the ride at this point. Boy, all of a sudden the breakpoint wall was on. We saw that yesterday with the lefties using urethane. Not the case today. pulled on Sunset Strip, an interesting pattern. Kept the scores medium to tending towards medium low. It's not that surprising. What Sunset Strip indicates is that the lanes are oiled in strips. Every 5 boards is a different length. So it really isn't that surprising, because when a lane starts to go, or a zone starts to go, you can't just make 1-and-1s or 2-and-1s and stuff like that. You got to make leaps to get in a whole different zone. But then you got to figure out what that zone is doing, let alone pair to pair, game 10 of the tournament, etc., etc. What we're saying is it is super hard to adjust, and your look can just dissolve in a heartbeat. You see that all the time on the big tour. He's off to a hot start over there. Converts to 310 the hard way. Looking good for him. We'll focus on them in just a second. I just want to keep this string going. Solomon says, "There you go." You know it. Hooray, Joey! Second strike of the title match. Well, from all the accolades he has in his cap, a 300 in the title match is not yet one of them. Here he goes in the 8th. No! It is Planet Solomon, and we are all just tributary satellites along in his general orbit. How can a 75-pound kid create such orbit in gravity? The lane he seems to have liked the least. He hates that one. It's the 3rd straight time he's been unhappy with his delivery on the left-hand lane. He says he got it fast, and sure did. He got it fast the last time, he got away with it. This time he doesn't get the 2A's in the trip. So 1068 for 4 would mark out here for 268. That's 1268. 1348 for his last 5, and he doesn't even have to double in the 10s. So that would have been plus 348 if that's the qualifying round. I believe our all-time record's 380, so almost the best 5 games we've ever seen.
He shot 1364, that's why it's 5.
That's right, that's right.
300,
Yeah. You can light them up with the best of them on any pattern, any show us some interesting pin action over there. I hope you saw that. Yay! At least when it's a blowout like this, you know, the attitudes get back in check. Because what are you going to do? Be upset? You lost by 400 pins. What are you going to do? Chris up high for the 2nd straight time. Young starts to put some pressure back on him, and that flip-flop. We're going to focus back in on this match and just catch the tail end.
Go, Brandon!
Joey can strike out for 180 for it. Keep going. Oh, bowling, you're a cruel sport. No, Chris misses that spare. Makes things much more interesting over there. Let's go find out exactly how interesting. Hi, Daniel. Hello. There you go. All right. Young Cho looking to win his first career title, taking on Brandon, who's got a couple wins, I believe. He's got at least one, I know that. The difference in this match is 7. Brandon's got to be Young by 7 to tie 8 to win. And as it stands, he leads by 7. So they're all even through 6 frames. But it's Cho working on a double. Chris was working on an open, but those are much better there in the 7. Ryan Lee got Cho to bowl our tournaments, and he hasn't stopped bowling the sets. Been getting better every week. Yeah, see you then. Good job. Been improving. Finally broke through with the top 4 finish here. Would love to break through into the title club. Make it 3 in a row for Cho. As he takes the lead with that 3-bagger. Young, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just a name, it's an adjective. He's young show right now. I'd like to introduce you to old Hamer right now. Rapidly aging Hamer behind the camera. Big shot for him here in the 8th. A little head shake there, a little head shimmy. Off he goes.
Fair ball, come on.
Looks good. Oh, didn't get there. Wow. 268 for Salama there, by the way, to finish out. Back-to-back titles on the weekend, 19 for his career, and $1,500 for sweeping the weekend. And that's before brackets. You want to earn some scholarship money? Bowl JBT tournaments. And prevent Solomon from bowling JBT tournaments. You know, let's be fair about it.
By a chance.
Got a chance indeed, but too much of that head pin. So the tables turn again right after he takes the lead. He opens to give it right back to Cameron. Chris now leads by 12. Remember, he's got to win by 8. 7 to tie, 8 to win. Big shot for him. Strike working in the 8th. Going way left and leaves that super tricky double wood. Yikes. When Brandon was a little younger and a little shorter, he would just do the spray and pray. He would just crank it as hard as he could from left to right. Now that he's starting to get a little older, there's a little more direction on that ball. That's why you see him bowling in the title match on a pretty competitive pattern. Stays behind the line, but forgets to hit the pins. So they trade open frames in the 8th frame, and they trade the lead again with that. It's now a 9-pin deficit for Brandon. 2 frames to go. Title match. I can't. Oh. I'm honored yet again. Ah, right there in the 9th. At a certain age, they bounce back for the opens better, and they don't overthink it. They just go ah, just, on to the next frame. Cho's got to do the same thing.
It was nice to meet you guys.
Deep breath, lots of preparation for Cho. Good poise in an untested situation. Holds the follow through and crushes the rack there. So it remains that 9-pin lead heading into the 10th. Both bowlers on strike. Who's going to perform in the 10th? Who wants it? Who needs it? Have to have it. If Cho can double here in the 10th, it's over. Anything less than a double, Chris can win.
Still, very proud of you. All right? Stay in touch with practice. Read that sheet. Get it on.
Sorry, there it is. 10th frame.
And get yourself a notebook.
9-pin lead.
Notebook down.
Sliding by again. Ooh. He washed out last time. Slides by again.
What's the difference?
7 to tie, 8 to win.
Oh, wow.
Well, for a natural hookball player like Cho, this isn't that tough a spare, but good luck telling him that right there in the 10th frame of his first career title match. It's hooked. Doesn't get there. Open in the 10th. 168 for 220. Brandon spare strikes for 178 plus 45 for 223. Chris needs spare and good count to win. Strike would win it all right here. No, he must spare this. Spare 8 is 176 against spare 8. Spare 8 is officially what we need. Thank you, Ryan. If we go spare 7, we'll have a 2-frame roll-off for the title. We haven't had a handicap title match tie in forever. Definite possibility. First thing first, cover this 4. He's going to hook it at it.
They all hook him at the spares these days. It's okay.
Everybody hooks this bit. I hope in a few years he learns to shoot that 4-pin hard and straight. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. We'll see you. We'll see you.
Break meeting it?
Strike is a win. 9 is a win. 8 is a win. 7 is a tie. Less than 7 is heartbreak. Look out. He got it! By 2 pins, 222 to 220. The final 9 spare 9 is just enough for Brandon Chris. Look at that! Wins today's title. Oh, great finish there of all the bowlers. He's exhausted. He's there. Mama will do the smiling there. She tackled him. Love it. Great stuff. We do it all over again in 2 weeks. Good to see you guys. Enjoy. Great stuff. When the look goes, that's all there is to it.